going back to the conversation around children, when we're emotionally charged and we're around our children, we need to have somebody who can teach us when is the right time to take a step back and think about what we say in those moments and how we behave in front of them. I remember moments where, something happened and I got really emotionally charged and it affected everything about me, that there's no way that even if I didn't tell my children, and I didn't tell my children, and it was like, what happened, Mom? All of a sudden you were fine and all of a sudden you're not fine. What's just happened?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, something happened with Daddy and it's between us and it's an adult conversation, not a kid's conversation. And it doesn't really have anything to do with you. It has to do with the two of us.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that you're concerned about me, but it's not something that concerns you.
And normalize it. Like if you're absolutely right, they'll notice. And if they're attached to you and attuned to you, they're going to know something's off. And if you just give them the, everything is fine answer, like they're not going to buy it, right? No. But you can say very, very much like what you just said. But, you can also add on to that saying, when I say normalize it, I mean, when you're going through times, or sometimes it's just natural to have bumps.
Yeah.
And bumps is a good word. Dad and I are just going through a bump right now.
That's great.
Yeah, because it's just like, nothing's inauthentic, but you're not pretending, but you're also sort of saying, like it's natural. We're going through a bump. We'll get through this. This is some of the adult stuff, right? And we'll work that out. It's just natural. And sometimes the kids will be really on you. They'll be like, I want to know what's happening. I want to know what's happening.
What did he do?
Yeah, what did he do? Why are you mad at, Dad? Like, what's this? And, you can sort of say to them, hey, guys, like we all have our boundaries and I'm not going to put you in the middle of the stuff between Dad and I.
Yeah.
Right? It's natural for us to have some bumps. Remember how I told you guys we weren't communicating that well and we couldn't fix some of those problems? Sometimes we still struggle with communication, but, we love you and that's always going to be number one. Right? So there's ways to have real conversations, but you have to watch a little bit that you don't fall over into indulging yourself and starting to like
vent
and let it all out.
Well, this happened and that happened and he did this and that, and she did this and that happened and whatever. Yeah, I distinctly remember one specific day that happened and it was like, what happened, Mom? And it's like, and I was like, nothing, we got this, it's fine. And then I went into my room and called my dad.
Yeah. And the thing, like I said, don't forget, like if you do trip up and you start venting, you can come back to your kids and say, you know what, like now that I've kind of calmed down, I realized that I said too much.
Yeah.
And that's not the way I want to teach you guys about dealing with emotions and conflict. So you can own it, and they will respect you. Having your children's respect is so important, right? And one of the things that happens sometimes through divorce and separation, if parents continue to behave poorly, or they just, are modeling, an inability to deal with conflict or each other, is they lose their children's respect. They still have the kids love them. Right? So, but they can respect somebody who's made a mistake and comes back and owns it. And you know what? We're asking our children to do that all the time. We're trying to teach our children about fixing mistakes. So we've got to model fixing mistakes.